Shabbat Shalom, little Hebrews, and Boker Tov. This Shabbat we are going to be talking about the captivities of Babylon and Persia. Now, what was the Babylonian captivity? Well, the Babylonian captivity is about a time in Israel's history when Hebrews were taken captive by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. It was an important period in our history, little Hebrews, because the captivity of the Israelite nation was fulfilling prophecy that Jeremiah had spoken. So what exactly does captivity mean? Well, think of someone taking you out of your house and keeping you away from your house and your daddy and your mommy. They won't let you go to them no matter what you say or do. Well, see, our ancestors were taken out of Yerushalayim and not allowed to go to see it for a long time, little Hebrews. They had to do what the people of Babylon told them to do for 70 years. Now, little Hebrews, Yah used Babylon as his tool of judgment against Yisrael because of their sins. Yisrael sinned against Yah by worshiping idols and not following his laws and commandments. Now, we know that transgressing or not following the laws and commandments of Yah is sinning, right? Well, little Hebrews, there were actually several different times during the years of 607 to 586 BC when the Hebrews were taken captive by Babylon. Each time Yisrael went into Babylon under Babylonian rule, Nebuchadnezzar would lead his armies against Yehuda until they took over Yerushalayim, killing many people and destroying our temple and taking into captivity many thousands of Hebrews and leaving Yerushalayim in a smashed up mess. So as prophesied, told before it happened, as prophesied in Scripture, the Hebrew people would be allowed to return to Yerushalayim after 70 years of exile or being away from Yerushalayim and not allowed to go there for 70 years. Under the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian Empire, an empire means that a king owned a really big land. So like, for instance, if you took a look at a map and you could see the United States and Canada up above the United States and Mexico below the United States, well, just think if that was all just one empire being ruled by one person. That's kind of an empire, a huge amount of land being ruled by one person. So Nebuchadnezzar was the king of the Babylonian Empire, which spread throughout what is called the Middle East, little Hebrews. So during that time, which was around 607 BC, the king of Yehuda, whose name was King Jehoiakim, was made to surrender or give up and become a servant or slave to Nebuchadnezzar. And we can read all about that story in 2 Kings 24:1. Well, it was during that time that Nebuchadnezzar took many of the best of the best of the best young men from each city in Yehuda and put them into captivity. Among the best of the best of the best of these young men was Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And we know that their names were changed to Belshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, I know you remember their story, little Hebrews. Remember Daniel in the lion's den, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace? You remember that. Well, time passed, and after 3 years of serving Nebuchadnezzar, Jehoiakim of Yehuda rebelled, or he began to fight against the Babylonian rule and asked Egypt for help to come and help them. But after sending his army to deal with Yehuda's rebellion, Nebuchadnezzar himself left Babylon in 598 BC to deal with this problem. When he arrived in Yerushalayim, which was around March of 597 BC, Nebuchadnezzar took control of Yerushalayim and of the whole area. And he really tore it up. He took things and broke things and took King Jehoiakim and Yehuda as his captive, as his slaves. Not only did he take King Jehoiakim, he took his family and almost all of the people of Yehuda, and he left only the poorest people of the land. And that, we can read that in 2 Kings 24, verses 8 through 6. So what did King Nebuchadnezzar do next? Well, he chose King Zedekiah to rule over Yehuda. But 9 years later, Zedekiah led Yehuda in rebellion against Babylon one more time. And that's in 2 Kings 24 through 25. Instead of King Zedekiah listening to the warning that Yah sent to him through Yirmiah the prophet, he instead listened to the false prophets and let them lead him. You see, King Zedekiah decided to join together with men of Edom, Moab, Ammon, and Phoenicia. That's in Jeremiah 27, 1 through 3, to rebel against Nebuchadnezzar. This was not good, little Hebrews. This ended with Nebuchadnezzar again taking control of, you guessed it, Jerusalem. This was even worse for Jerusalem because Jerusalem was destroyed in July of 586 BC. And King Zedekiah was taken captive to Babylon. What's even worse is that he watched as his sons were killed right before his eyes, and then they plucked out his eyes. That's in 2 Kings 25. At this time, Jerusalem was a mess. The temple was destroyed and all the houses burned. It was a mess. Most of the Hebrew people were taken captive, but again, Nebuchadnezzar left a remnant, a small amount of poor people to serve as farmers and to look over the vineyards. Again, 2 Kings 25 and 12.